Thank you. I can vividly remember hearing dogs barking at 2:30 a.m. while on my early morning trip to the bathroom tent. It was only about 100 meters away from my sleeping tent, but I am pretty sure I slipped about 20 times on the thin ice. Next thing I know, it's 3 a.m. and I'm wading through 3 feet of snow with wearing a nightlight and crampons, climbing at a 60-degree angle in the freezing cold. It was a killer leg day. The worst possible mistake I could have made was skipping breakfast, but hey, you lived alone. The first time I saw a pointed structure looking a lot like the peak, I was the happiest I have ever been. I rushed to climb up and sat for the first time in over an hour. Now imagine what I felt like when I saw another looming structure further along. Oh, yeah, this wasn't the summit, but just another false peak. Then it struck me. Oh my god, it's not over yet. I still need to reach that summit. Every time I overcame one of those false peaks, there was always another one staring right back at me. I remember telling my mom, who was with me on this mountain, Mom, I can't take it anymore. You guys go up, I'll just chill here on this rock. Even with its rough texture, I was 100% sure it was more comfortable than going up there. I was done with the cold. I was done with the altitude. I was done with my aching muscles. I was done. But then my mom went and said, No, beta, what is this? You can't give up so easily. Breathe. One, two, one, two. So I trudged along following the group leader. I climbed and climbed until I set foot on that magical peak. There it was, Kedarkantha, the throat of Lord Shiva. As I walked through blankets of snow speckled with rocks, I could see the sun rise, encasing a beautiful orange glow in the foreground. From the summit, a flat plain atop this magnificent mountain, I was surrounded by these monstrous structures with sharp edges defining their steepness, almost taunting me. I told myself, next time I will go up there. How fast one's mind can change when we truly push ourselves beyond the limit of what we thought we could achieve, regardless of fear. When you get to that point or when you achieve a goal, it is a magnificent endorphin. The self satisfaction that you get from pushing through one of those challenges that you set your mind to is incomparable. And my goal was summiting Kedarkantha, a mountain located in Uttarakhand, standing at about 3,810 meters or 12,500 feet. Many of my evenings were dedicated to my usual training, going to the gym after school or playing tennis 4 days a week. And some others to more unusual things like wearing my trekking boots to school or going on early Sunday morning walks with my mom. All of this was to ensure I reached that one point, that one peak. Every day I question my motives. Why am I really doing this? Is it worth spending all of that time working out? Should I stop? Was the big question. And yes, some days I just wanted to stop and lie in my bed and, relax. But I realized if I want to do this, I can do this. And it was like a light switch going on in my brain. If I want to do it, I will do it. That was my mindset from then on. Not too long after, I experienced similar emotions while preparing for my trek to EBC. Everest Base Camp stands proudly at about 5,364 feet, and it's nestled in a valley surrounded by the world's most gruesome treks. My preparation for this trek was everything I did for my last one times two. Going on weekend hikes, climbing 21 stories at my Nana's building every Sunday with weighted backpacks. I also educated myself on the conditions of the trek by watching an endless amount of YouTube videos on EBC. Do not close your window and sleep. Your room will have a lower oxygen level, which is a bit dangerous at this altitude. I also familiarized myself with the terrain, what to wear, what to pack, and what to expect in terms of weather. Sometimes it snows, sometimes it rains, but mentally, you must be prepared for both. The most shocking aspect I learned was in regards to food, that I couldn't eat meat on this mountain. This is because EBC is located in the Sagarmatha National Park, This park is a Buddhist park, and under no condition are you allowed to slaughter. This meant that all the meat had to be brought from Lukla by foot, compromising on its hygienic conditions. But moreover, it was learning what to do and what not to do. The first few days were hard, adjusting to a new environment with a fixed routine with no time for procrastination. There was no heating, low temperatures, new food, and new people. 10-hour days with rigorous treks at high altitudes with low oxygen. It was tough. But these two recent experiences taught me the power of resilience, that we humans have the ability to never give up in the face of adversity, always trying to face our problems head on. Now, keyword being try. It's tough, it's arduous, it's stressful, but sometimes it's a source of endorphins. It's something to laugh upon when looking back. But almost always, it is me versus me. It is you versus you. Sometimes I end up on top. Other times I gain an experience, a lesson. Resilience is a hard trait to develop. Its roots are planted in the way we handle the negative situations that impede our lives. Its stem grows when we learn to push through those challenges and break out into a leaf, blossoming with all the brutality and all the glory of the event we have just overcome or the goal we have just achieved. What I found helpful was breaking down these bigger goals into smaller ones, which made them seem easier to conquer. It lies not only in the accomplishment, but in the planning and the journey you put forth. That the goal is to get that 1% better each day. It's small steps that in themselves don't amount to much, but when laced together, create the fortitude and create the confidence required to face what may seem like insurmountable odds. No good thing in life comes easy, and it is from these challenges and it is from these failures that we learn the perseverance required to succeed. But you don't need to climb Mount Everest to learn to be resilient. You can exercise it little by little every day. Resilience is internal. It is the strength you extrapolate from your inner self. It is when you learn to be comfortable with yourself. If you are not comfortable with yourself, you cannot learn to be resilient. Not that long ago, I was a typical shy kid at school, overcome with glossophobia and the fact that if I ask a question, it's going to be silly or it's going to be wrong. Look at me now, that too over here. These experiences have shaped me into who I am today, not afraid of change, not afraid to express myself, not afraid to ask questions, and definitely not afraid to take a risk. The challenging but reassuring voice of my parents telling me I can go higher and that I can win is now within me. It's become my own. And it's not because I've eliminated my fears, rather that I've learned to embrace them. It's ultimately the journey is the destination. Thank you. That was great.